to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session all about breaking a habit. And I was working with a client that had quite a strong habit. Now, I use the word habit rather than addiction because an addiction feels like something is really difficult to break. A habit makes it feel like it's a behavioral change that is more possible. Now, this client was a regular user of a particular substance, and what became evident in the conversation with the client is that it was a substitute. It wasn't that they really craved and wanted this thing. It was that it was filling a gap in their life, and that gap was meaning, connection, and other things that gave them a sense of purpose. So this hypnosis session uses a lot of metaphors linked to this idea that when low self-worth is there, that's when they felt most need to use this substance. Therefore, the opposite would also be true when they feel worthy and capable and that they have hope for the future. Then the whole grip and grasp of this habit would lose its power. So there's a lot going on here. Now, even though the client had a very specific substance, I don't mention it in this session. Partly, I wanted to make it generative so that if it ever became something else for the client, this session would also be useful. But in doing so, it also means that it's a very versatile session for you. It might be cigarettes. It might be alcohol. It might even be gambling or something else. The habit does not have to be a particular substance. It could just be something that you do. A porn addiction might fall into the gap as well. So therefore, I want you to be very intentional about this session. I want you to think very clearly on what is the habit that you want to break and what substitute is it for? Are you doing something as a way of dealing with procrastination or dealing with boredom or dealing with overwhelm? And what you actually want is clarity or progress or a sense of momentum. Think about those things and then also think, what kind of a future do you want if you no longer have this habit in your life? And by thinking of those things, you're going to get a lot more value from this session. It was created for an individual. Some of the suggestions are very, very specific. So I would say if you are interested in working with me on a one-to-one basis, where I build stuff entirely around you and your situation, there will be a link in the description where you can schedule a completely free consultation call. We'll have a chat over Zoom, and it might be that I end up working with you directly. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel that wonderful feeling of relaxation, as if on every outward breath, you are letting go of any feelings of unworthiness, lack of confidence. Just allow it to leave your body, because certain things need feeding. Some habits need justification and fuel, and without that fuel, it's almost like a tree, but without the soil to have the roots. That tree falls down quickly. And I want you to imagine your habit, and it is a habit, not an addiction, has roots. And these roots are resting in the soil of low self-worth. But what if that low self-worth was to wash away? The very thing holding this habit together would be lost. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine a beach. Maybe it's a beach you used to go to as a child, or maybe a tropical beach in a far-off country. But just imagine keeping your body there as you allow your imagination to float up and away, drifting all the way to that beach. And as you touch ground on the soft sand, imagine wearing whatever clothing is appropriate to be on that beach. And I want you to imagine seeing a tree with its roots exposed. And imagine the sand is that low self-worth. And as the waves collide with the sand, it washes that low self-worth away. And then see the tree come crumbling down. I want you to get a sense that what if that's all it takes? A tree that would be impossible to move while it's deep in the sand or the soil becomes easy to uproot the moment that it's washed away. I want you to get a feeling that your low self-worth is washing away, and that's because you have something important to be doing, something worthy, because what you need to be doing will help others, and therefore it's valuable, and you are the one to do it, which means you are worthy, and worthiness is the opposite of low self-worth. I want you to get a feeling that the more worthy you feel, the more the roots holding your habit together are being exposed. But then walk longer and further down the beach and see something strange. I want you to see a huge pit in the sand. And then in front of that pit is a treadmill. And it's you running on the treadmill. And you get the sense that one misstep, or if you slow down too much, the treadmill will send you into that deep pit. But you're just about maintaining the pace. And as you look at yourself, I want you to feel empathy and sympathy. Because it must be exhausting to be constantly on that treadmill, constantly on the brink of falling down. But there is a way out. I want you to imagine seeing that tube, almost like a water slide, there above the treadmill. But you notice things that you didn't see before. You've seen those climbing walls where there's different colored shapes that people can climb up a wall. I want you to imagine those handholds and footholds on the inside of that water slide. And these handholds and footholds, these are actionable steps and goals, things to do that make you feel good. And you didn't see them before, so you assumed it would be trickier to escape through that tunnel than it actually is. And I want you to imagine seeing that version of you reach up and grab one of those things to hold on to. See yourself pulling yourself up. And imagine that version of you now navigating through the tubes, a colourful tunnel that sends you on your way to your future. And as you think about that version of you escaping, imagine finding a comfortable lounger there on the beach, or maybe a hammock, something relaxing to sink into. And then, as you sink into that lounger, hammock, or just a blanket on the beach, allow your body to relax even more, as your unconscious mind has a mission for you, something important to vastly improve the quality of your life. And as you settle into that place there on the beach, breathing gently and allowing the muscles of your body to relax and loosen, you begin to drift inward into the quiet place where change can happen quickly. Because beneath every habit and beneath every craving, beneath every moment you felt pulled towards that substance, there is something deeper, a longing, a need, a hunger for meaning, connection, and value. And you already know that the habit has been a poor substitute for what you truly desire. And the part of you that uses isn't bad. It isn't even weak. It's simply a part of you that's trying to help with the only tool that it had, numbing pain and filling emptiness, avoiding fears of what may happen. And one fear in particular: what if I'm not enough to build the life I want? But that's just an insecurity. It was never truth. Just the echo of old wounds, old environments, old beliefs that were planted in you long before you had a say. And right now, you're stepping into a space where those beliefs start to melt away. Just like the sand or the soil around those roots, they loosen, they dissolve. And I want you to imagine now that this habit of yours has hands, a grasp, a grip around you. You decide where on your body, but not choking you, but gripping hold of you just tight enough to keep you where you are. And those hands, that grip, only feels powerful because of something called the law of familiarity. Because what you know feels safe, even if it's killing you. And the unknown feels frightening, even when it's your liberation. But watch what happens now as you imagine those hands again. See how they weaken, see how they loosen, and see how they are only strong when your self-worth is low and your hope feels dim. And watch as your worthiness increases even slightly. Those hands slip, they lose leverage, and they can't hold you anymore. And it's not because you fight, and it's not because you struggle. It's because you feel aligned with a life that truly matters. And I wonder if there is a belief inside you, something that says you don't deserve a future full of love, meaning, or contribution. But that's just the voice of the part of you with low self-worth. And when that's winning, you have permission to use. But I want you to introduce a new reality. Your low self-worth is not proof. It's a symptom, a side effect, a scar from your past, a reflection of how you were treated, not who you are now. And I want you to feel who you are now is someone with hope, belief, a desire to do something important. And as that becomes clear, something shifts. You begin to realize if other people with scars, mistakes, flaws, and fears can create meaningful lives, then so can you. You're not broken, and you're not behind. You're not cursed, and you're not doomed. You're simply untapped, underestimated, and mainly by yourself. You are not incapable. You're just unfamiliar with what it's like to do something meaningful, to take pride in that, and to improve day by day by day. Nobody's ready for their future. You get ready by pursuing it. From now on, every time you feel tempted, there's a voice inside you that says, I don't care, I don't care. A new thought emerges. This is the cheap imitation, a poor quality substitute of what I really want. Because what you really want is purpose, connection, significance. That feeling of giving something valuable to the world. But that substance can't give you that. It can only distract you from noticing the emptiness. But your real future, the one you haven't stepped into yet, that future is waiting. It's waiting for your decision. The moment you decide you're worth more, a lot more, then the grasp of that habit collapses. It loses power. It only has the power that you feed it. You feed it with criticism, shame, guilt, frustration. It grows. But when you feed it hope, ideas, excitement, enthusiasm, and you take steps towards that future, it loses all of its power. Just like the roots of that tree without any soil or sand around them. And what if you're no longer trying to escape pain, but that you're actually moving toward purpose? As you drift off into that dreamlike sleep there on the beach, I want you to dream about yourself years from now, sitting across from someone who is trapped in the same cycle that you're in the process of breaking today. And maybe that person feels broken, hopeless, lost, or worthless. But just imagine telling them your story. How you used to escape into substances because you didn't believe you were worthy of something better. And how one day you realized that your future deserved to be more than your past. Imagine telling them what you did and how you did it to avoid the pit, escape the treadmill, get through the tunnel and out to the other side. And as you speak, you can see from their expressions that they feel hope. You didn't just escape your habit, you transformed it into meaning. Your pain became your path. Your struggle became your service. Your darkness became your contribution. That's just one person. And now imagine multiplying that one person by thousands. You are making a meaningful difference to thousands upon thousands of lives. And when you feel that way, that substance has no power over you at all. Because that future version of you, the one telling that story, feels strong, stable, proud, peaceful, and most of all, worthy. They are worthy and they are confident, and you can see that, and that is your future. And I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you. So rather than it being you in the future one day, feel what it would feel like to be that person now. Strong, stable, proud, peaceful, worthy. Oozing confidence, feel it. And allow that identity to form within you now. Let it settle into your bones, your breath, your posture, your sense of self. And then in that future, I want you to imagine a big pile of banknotes adding up to 100,000. And there was a time that this would have been frittered away, sniffed, used, consumed, but not now. This 100,000 improves the quality of your life, gives you more security, enables you to do more of what you want to do for you and the people you love most. Maybe it expands something, maybe it helps you grow. But I want you to feel that the future version of you would never dream of spending that money on substances and gratification because of the journey that you've been through to earn it. The world, the universe, your future will test you and reward you when you're ready. As you think about yourself. Now in the present, drift back to you there on the beach. From this moment forward, you are no longer trying to escape a habit or addiction. I want you to feel that you are making progress toward your future, toward meaning, toward contribution, toward becoming the kind of person who inspires others simply by existing. A person with self-worth, a person with choice, a person who is no longer held by the grasp of habit. Because that habit was never stronger than you. You just hadn't realized it yet. And now you do. As you leave that lounger, blanket, or hammock, walk past the treadmill and see that version of you is no longer on the treadmill. You look down into the pit and you're not there either. And you start to wonder, how far along that tube, that tunnel, how much progress have you already made? And as you entertain that question, see the tree once more, roots showing, having lost all of its power. Just allow yourself to float all the way back to your present, taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. But it will be a version of you that emerges, oozing worthiness, believing with every fiber of your being you have something valuable, important, and essential to do. And more importantly, you are the only one that can do it. You are worthy, you are capable, you are confident. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.